Well, today's a day for another project. This is my Massey Ferguson 175 diesel. I recently installed that loader on it. It had another loader on it, but it was junk, so I found a much heavier duty one that's actually built for this tractor. But anyways, you can see it's got this large bucket on it. Well, we're going to change that. Here we have a forklift carriage off of a forklift mast. And this here, I'm making a pin setup, so that'll be the pins that hold that to the tractor. I'll take the bucket off and put this on, and I have a set of forks for it. And I put the forks on it, and I'll have a forklift on the front of my tractor. The reason I'm not using forks that go over the top of the bucket is this will move the forks back probably about 2 feet compared to those, and you'll get a lot more lift and better control out of it. So as you see, I've been doing a lot of welding. Those bottom bushings are machined out to 1.25 inches. Those are 1 inch to match the pins on the tractor right now. So I still have to weld up those two, then I have to weld them to the carriage itself, and I still have to drill some holes so I can get the pin to go completely through. So back to work. Well, we're working on the carriage, getting the brackets attached that the rods on the loader will hook up to. So you see I have the bushings all fully welded in. Give it a little bit more surface. That basically I'm just copying the way the loader bucket's built on that part. I have the distance set from here to the inside face of that, 35 3/4, and then this distance is 2.5. I'm using a 1.25 inch bushing for the bottom 1.25 inch bolt and a 1 inch bolt for the top 1 inch pin. I set the distance here at 1.5 inches. This is 1.5 inches down, which puts it a 1/2 inch above the bottom of the forks. So I got a little bit of room underneath that when the forks are touching. I'm going to leave these center pieces. They won't be in the way, and obviously they're part of the structural support of the carriage. So we can go out here and take a look at the bucket that's going to come off. You can see it's just 4 pins, 2 pins aside. And I've had those pins out before, so it should come off relatively easy. Right now everything's nice and loose, so I should be able to pop it off right there. Put the fork carriage on, put the forks on, and I'll be able to go around and pick up stuff. I now have a forklift attachment on the tractor. So let's take a look at what I finished up on it. First thing I had to do is had to build these T-screws and weld a new nut in here. There was a nut in there, but it was completely wore out. So I replaced that so I could thread that down and lock the fork into the notch, keep it from moving back and forth. I went ahead and greased the carriage or rack up so they slide nice and easy. Also welded a little tab on the end here that keeps the forks from sliding right off the end. If you want to take the forks off, you just slide it to that notch and you can pop the bottom out and then slide it right off the top. And it also means you can take these forks and flip them upside down. They got these nice lifting holes in them, so you put a clevis in there and pick stuff up, or an eye bolt. I reused the original pins for the bucket, so I just drilled and tapped this metal for a 1/2 inch thread, and I just ran a bolt in there, and that holds it in there. So now all I have to do is take out the 4 bolts, pull the pins, and I can go put on the bucket. So now, go pick up some stuff. I just thought I'd just do a quick little snippet here of how high it goes. Alright, I got the pallet fork on. So, forks are all on there. Now this tractor has an auto leveling feature, so it's supposed to keep it level while coming up. Looks like it needs tuned because it's going too fast, but I'll show that. Alright, I'm going to pick it up normally. pick it up with the leveling. And you can see they tilt forward, but they tilt forward too much. They should be level. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and pick up this big bundle of wood. The bundle of wood should be about 2,500 pounds. It might be a little bit lighter because it's dry. Well, there you go. It picks it up. The tires aren't loaded on this, and I have no back weight on it. So once I get that much weight on the front, it gets a little bit like this, but the back tires stay on the ground. So this will save me a lot of time. I used to use the crane to unload these from the truck and trailer, and it would take, you know, a couple hours to pick up 6 bundles. This should cut down my unloading time to maybe a half hour. All right, that's good.